Chapter 759, The Slimy Magical Blood. It starts at the zoo. Me, Lana, Nico, Sid, Ronnie Ann, Lainey and Lily were helping Becca with the new reptile exhibit being put in. Becca, thanks for helping me build the new exhibits at the reptile house, guys. Me, no problem, Becca. It's so awesome helping you out at the zoo. Sid, this is so awesome. We're getting new king cobra exhibits. Lainey had the king cobra around her arm and she was petting it. Lainey, Alesti is a cute cobra. Sid, she sure is, Lainey. Me, king cobras are one of the most deadliest snakes in the world. Ronnie Ann, they are. Nico, one bite is powerful to kill 25 people. Lana, that is deadly. Becca, it sure is. We got to work on the king cobra exhibit and it was a beautiful exhibit in the zoo. It looked like a tropical rainforest and Lusty was right at home. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Later back at the estate, Nico was looking through his Goosebumps books. Jared was eating a bowl of broccoli. Jared, MMM. Nothing like a bowl of broccoli salad for me. Fart. Jared, excuse me. We laughed. Me, that was funny, son. William, hey, Maria. Have you fought any bad crooks today? Maria, no. Why are you asking? William, no reason. I've got a surprise for you. Maria, what's the surprise? William, slips off his shirt this. William revealed his bare chest to Maria and anyone else looking at him. Maria blushed hotly, as did more than a few other girls in the room, at the sight of William's chest, but there was something else that also drew their attention. On top of William's chest, he had the words "You can look but can't touch because," tattooed in blood red and black ink. Me, you can look, but can't touch because. William turns around, that's not all. The girls still blushed because his back was just as hot to them as his chest. But what caused William to blush the most was the tattoo on his back. Teresa, amused with a blush, this is Maria Rockel's property. Around the words, William had a tattoo done in pink and red that was a trail of cherry blossom petals, while there was a black and red knife tattooed under the words, piercing the O in property. William puts his shirt back on. Hey, she has a tattoo that says property of William Dunbar, so I thought I'd get one similar but different. Besides, doesn't Maria Rockel's property have a good ring to it? Francis, Static, and Deer were rolling on the floor laughing their heads off. Rubber Band Man, Snickers might as well have tattooed Maria Rockel's boy toy on your back while you were at it. Me, laughs, that is so funny. But that tattoo is so awesome, William. Yumi, that is an awesome tattoo, Will. Bullrick, nice ink though, dude. Odd, right, to ink, dude. You two are perfect for each other. Jeremy, that tattoo is a magnificent perfect mark on you, William. Elida, that is an awesome tat on you, William. William, thanks guys. Carmen, rockin' tat, bro. Maria, William, that is so sweet. Blackfire, quick question. Do your parents know that you two have tattoos? Maria, they sure do. William, yep, they do. Me, besides, I think they look really cool with tattoos. Nico looked through his books and he found his next target. Nico, I think I have our next target. Let's go after the monster blood. We looked at the monster blood books and we saw a gross green slime coming down the stairs and it looked alive. Me, that stuff is disgusting. It looks like living snot. Nico, it does look like it. Ben, that monster blood thing looks like goop. Me, it does have those same characteristics. But Goop is from the planet Viscozia and he doesn't have the ability to turn people into giant monsters. Lainey, who would make such a disgusting abomination? Nico, the monster blood is next on our hit list. Me, let's see. Who would make such a horrifying abomination? I looked it up on the computer and saw that it was made by an evil sorceress named Sarabeth. Sarabeth is an antagonist in Monster Blood. She is an evil sorceress that took the appearance of a black cat and since then had been living with Evan Ross' aunt, Catherine. Later, it is revealed that she was the cause of Catherine's deafness and the reason why the monster blood is evil. Finally, when she tells monster blood to kill Evan and Catherine, Trigger appears, pushing Sarabeth towards the monster blood causing her death. Me, this bitch is fucked up to the extreme. Nico, I can't believe she's that dangerous. Me, our best chance is to throw all the monster blood into the sun and obliterate it with the solar fire. Nico, that's a good idea. Me, let's go get that psychotic bitch of darkness. Brittany, yet. She gives us sorceresses a really bad name. Me, Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Jamie, and Team Loud Fairy Wind. Me and Jamie, let's fly. We were off to Jackson, Mississippi. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Jackson, Mississippi. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We arrived at the Ross residence in Jackson, Mississippi. Me, here we are guys. We landed and we saw Evan Ross and Andy playing in the backyard with Evan's dog Trigger. Me, are you Evan Ross and Andy? Evan Ross, Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Nice to meet you guys. Me, it's a pleasure to meet you too Evan. Andy, we love all your adventures and they are so awesome. Evan, it was so hard to pick just one so we chose all of them. Me, I'm glad we have such great fans. But we came because you had an encounter with a certain evil batch of slime. Nico held up the books on monster blood. Nico, monster blood. Me, since you guys encountered it, we're gonna destroy it. Lola, yeah this stuff is gross and it looks like living snot. Evan, come inside so we can talk. Me, okay. We went inside. We were talking to Evan's mom. Mrs. Ross, Evan, this whole thing about monster blood? It sound like crazy talk. Ed, that's not crazy talk. This is crazy talk. Does various forms of gibberish blabbing, but his third blabbing makes his saliva hit Francis, making him hammer fist him to shut him up, bashing his head in sorry. Me, trust me Mrs. Ross. Evan has dealt with this evil slime before and it is a nasty and gross atrocity. We need to destroy all of it by sending it all into the fire of the sun. Lainey, and we need to send that evil sorceress Sarabeth in there with it. Evan, but I thought she was dead. Me, I have a strong feeling she isn't. Evan, we need to work together to take it down for good. Evan, you got it JD. Andy, here's the kin of monster blood. Me, so this is the stuff. Okay. Here we go. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We were outside and we had the kin of monster blood on the street. Me, okay here we go. Edzilla, Ed smash stupid slime. I took the top off the kin and the monster blood oozed out. It was gross seeing it. Me, oh that is disgusting slop. Evan, it sure is. Then we saw that the slime had the symbol of the Heartless on it. Bombshell, Evan, did the monster blood always have a heartless symbol on it? Evan, no. Why? Bombshell, because it's a heartless now. My dark orb detector went off and it showed that there was a dark orb in the monster blood. Me, there's a dark orb in the monster blood. Evan, sees the monster blood heartless whatever it might be before, it's a heartless now. Me, yep. Then we saw the monster blood take shape and it formed into a woman with black hair and she had a horrifying demonic mask on. I recognized her. It was the evil Moldavian satanic princess Asa Vita. She took off the mask and I saw that she had a horrifying face but there were bloody holes in it and emblazoned on her forehead was the Star of Satan. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Asa Vita was a princess of Moldavia who lived during the first half of the 17th century. Asa was a witch in service to Satan and she practiced her art along with a colleague named Igor Zhavudik. Asa's own brother, Kryavi Vita was the head of the Holy Inquisition. Capturing Asa and Igor, he tried them for witchcraft outside the family estate. Before her sentence was carried out, ASA placed a curse on her brother's family line, shouting, "It is I who repudiate you, and in the name of Satan I place a curse upon you. Go ahead, tie me down to the stake, but you will never escape my hunger, nor that of Satan." The Inquisitor had his men nail the mask of Satan upon both Asa and Igor's faces, and their bodies were burned at the stake. At the moment of her death, a terrible storm erupted and the Inquisitors fled the scene. When the storm subsided, they placed Asa's body in the tomb of her ancestors. Her coffin was outfitted with a glass window so that all who looked upon it would see the mask of Satan staring back at them. A giant cross was erected upon the coffin to ward off evil. 2 centuries later, 2 scientists named Dr. Thomas Kruvahan and Andrei Gorobek traveled by coach through Moldavia on their way to a conference in Mirgorod. Their coach suffered a broken axle near the ruins of the Vita family chapel, and while the coachman effected repairs, Kruvahan and Gorobek decided to explore the ruins. While inspecting the catacombs, they came upon Princess Asa's coffin. A large bat flew out, startling Kruvahan. In an attempt to kill the bat, he unwittingly struck the cross affixed to Princess Asa's coffin, as well as shattering the small glass window at the head of the casket. Cutting himself on a splinter of glass, Kruvahan's blood dripped down onto the mask of Satan, mysteriously bringing Asa back to life. Though alive once again, she was still weak and was unable to rise from her coffin. She used what little power she had regained to resurrect her Lvoer Igor Zhavudik. She then summoned Dr. Kruvahan back to her tomb, forcing him to give her his blood, making her even stronger. Working through both Zhavudik and Kruvahan, she continued to wreak her vengeance against the Vita family. The prince and his heir, Konstantin Vita, were both killed in short order, but it was the prince's daughter, Katia Vita, that captured Asa's attention. The 21-year-old princess was the spitting image of the witch, and Asa sought to take possession of her, transferring her essence into Katia's body. Moments after completing the spell, however, Kruvahan's student Andrei Gorobek exposed her, and the local villagers became aware that Asa was a witch. She was pulled out of the chapel ruins and bound to a wooden stake, whereupon she was set on fire and burned to death. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Me. Gasp. I don't believe it. That's Asa Vita. Lola. Who is she? Me. She's the evil satanic princess from the movie Black Sunday, one of my dad's movies from his past. When my dad was a kid, that movie scared the living shit out of him when they nailed that horrifying mask onto her face as they were about to kill her. Lori, what year was that movie made? Me. 1960. This woman is a demon born from the devil himself. Then we heard malevolent laughter. Me. Who's that? Evan. That's Sarabeth. We saw a woman with black hair and black leather clothes come out in a vortex of magic. It was Sarabeth. Evan. Sarabeth. Sarabeth. Don't worry, Evan. I'll make your death quick and painless. Me. I'll make sure your death is slow and excruciatingly painful. Nico. Sarabeth. You have failed this whole planet. Lana. I'll face Sarabeth. You guys face that overgrown slime ball. Me. Right, Lana? We went at the monster blood heartless. I punched it in the face and my fist went all the way through it. Me. Oh yuck. Luckily my powers were protecting me from its deadly effects. Me. So physical attacks won't work on it. Our best option is to use energy waves and elemental attacks. We did so and it hurt the monster blood heartless. Then the monster blood heartless changed again. It became the radioactive Paleosaurus. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. After a series of deaths involving both humans and marine creatures, along with the discovery of an enormous dinosaurian footprint, scientists uncovered the existence of the Paleosaurus. Theorizing that the beast was also dying of the massive dose of radiation which was killing all those around it, but that it would travel up the River Thames to perish in fresh water whilst devastating London en route, the group devised a way to deliver an even higher dosage of radiation which would hasten its demise. Whilst constructing their weapon, authorities discovered the Paleosaurus radar transparency, and had to rely on helicopter surveillance. However, the radiation emitted by the creature caused the helicopters to crash, and the Paleosaurus subsequently embarked on a rampage through central London. Finally finishing the weapon, the remaining scientists loaded their radium-filled torpedo aboard a miniature submersible and destroyed the beast in the River Thames after sustaining heavy damage. However, news reports of shoals of dead fish at the end of the film suggest that a second Paleosaurus may have made landfall in the United States. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Me, it's the radioactive Paleosaurus. Shannon, from the 1959 movie The Giant Behemoth. The monster bled heartless as the Paleosaurus fired a massive green lightning laser blast that was as radioactive as 100 tons of plutonium. I blocked the laser and I sprouted my tail and it fired the laser back at it and it exploded. The monster bled heartless reformed and it turned into the giant tarantula. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Wearing pajamas, a man with Neanderthal features stumbles through the Arizona desert. He falls and dies. Dr. Matt Hastings, a bright, handsome and sympathetic doctor from the small town of Desert Rock, is called to view the body. Asked to give an opinion as to cause of death, he finds himself perplexed. Surprised to learn the deceased was someone he knew, biological research scientist Eric Jacobs. Dr. Hastings suggests he be given permission to perform an autopsy to learn why the man's face is distorted beyond recognition. The sheriff refuses, judging an autopsy unnecessary as Jacobs' associate, Dr. Gerald Deemer, signed the death certificate and there is no indication of foul play. Curious to learn more, Dr. Hastings drives 20 miles out of town to visit Dr. Deemer in his lab. Hastings learns that Deemer and Jacobs have been conducting experiments on animals in an effort to use an atomic isotope to create a superfood nutrient. Foreseeing a future when human population growth would outstrip food production and result in food shortages, their hope was to create a viable replacement for food and prevent widespread starvation. He learns that the scientists' experiments proved successful in one respect, in that some animals were able to thrive and grow exclusively on the nutrient without any food. Yet, the nutrient has not been perfected. Other animals have died after receiving injections, and still others have kept growing to gargantuan proportions. The latter include a white mouse, a guinea pig, and a Mexican red-rumped tarantula. Deemer tells Hastings that the cause of Jacob's death was his impatience to see if the latest batch of the nutrient would sustain humans. As a result, Jacob injected himself with the nutrient, which resulted in runaway acromegaly, which killed him in 4 days. What Deemer does not reveal is that Jacobs also injected his research assistant, Paul Lund, with the same nutrient. After Hastings leaves, the deformed Lund appears, attacks Deemer and partially destroys the lab. During this rampage, the lab catches fire and the glass front of the tarantula's cage is shattered. Lund grabs the hypodermic that Deemer was going to use to inject an animal and injects Deemer instead. During the melee, the arachnid escapes outdoors, unnoticed. Lund collapses and dies. Deemer, who had been unconscious, regains consciousness, grabs a fire extinguisher, and puts out the fire. Intending to continue his work without questions or objections, he buries Lund's body and conceals all traces of the grave. The following day, a new lab assistant arrives in town, by bus. The young and beautiful Stephanie Clayton, who goes by the nickname Steve, has signed on to assist in the lab as part of her master's degree program. Told she will have to wait a couple of hours for the only taxi driver in town to return and drive her out to the lab, she accepts a ride from Dr. Hastings, who is also headed there. When they arrive and see the damage, Dr. Deemer tells them that the fire was caused by an equipment malfunction. He indicates that all the animals were killed in the fire, and avoids answering questions about what happened to his previous research assistant. As Steve's contract stipulates that she live in Dr. Deemer's residence, Dr. Hastings leaves her there with her suitcases. Steve begins working in the lab and proves to be a capable lab assistant, even as she begins to notice disturbing changes in Dr. Deemer's appearance and demeanor. Meanwhile, the now house-sized tarantula ravages the countryside as Dr. Hastings tries to unravel a mystery that includes clean-picked cattle carcasses and pools of arachnid venom up to 8 feet in diameter. Once he puts 2 and 2 together, Hastings begs the sheriff to gather law enforcement personnel and explosives so they can try to destroy the creature that is killing livestock and humans. The tarantula eventually returns to the lab during the night and kills Dr. Deemer, but Steve escapes with Dr. Hastings. Then the tarantula pursues its human quarry down the road toward the town. After several failed attempts, the spider is eventually destroyed by a napalm attack launched from a jet fighter squadron. Shannon, the giant tarantula from the 1955 movie Tarantula. Lenny then freaked out. Lenny screams in terror. Spider. Lenny used her gravity powers and lifted it up and slammed it into the ground and splattered it everywhere. Splat. Everyone? Ew. Me. That was disgusting. The monster blood heartless reformed and it split into 4 masses and it turned into the giant ants from the 1954 movie Them. The giant ants were first normal carpenter ants that lived in New Mexico but were mutated into huge killers by nuclear weapon tests. Later they killed off people from their acid, in which they first killed a store owner. Later 2 police officers found a little girl all by herself and the dead store owner in the desert. A team of FBI agents, scientists, and police officers come together to investigate the mysterious deaths. They are attacked by a giant carpenter ant and kill it by shooting its antennas. They find an entrance to the hive of the 6-legged terrors, which is covered in remains of unlucky victims of the huge insects, and kill the ants in it by gassing the colony and burning the survivors with flamethrowers. The team finds 3 huge, open eggs in the breeding chamber of the hive. The scientist of the team explains that 3 ant queens which are searching for a new place to start a colony. A pilot in Texas gets attacked by said ant queens but survives, unlike most of the crew members of a ship in which an ant queen hatched her brood before getting destroyed by the Navy. The showdown takes place in the sewers of Los Angeles after the President of the United States declares martial law on LA, in which all the ants in the sewers get eliminated by the army, including some newly hatched queens. Me. It's the giant ants from the 1954 movie Them. Lincoln, imitating Onslow Stevens. To all units. Condition red. Drain 267 is the target area. Laney, nice Onslow Stevens imitation, bro. Lincoln, thanks Laney. Lincoln fired a powerful blast of lightning and destroyed the ants. The monster blood heartless reformed and it turned into the Thing. But it was the Thing from 1951. A United States Air Force, U.S. Air Force, resupply crew is officially dispatched by General Fogarty from Anchorage, Alaska, at the unusual request of Dr. Arthur Carrington, Robert Cornthwaite, chief of a group of scientists working at a North Pole base, Polar Expedition 6. They have evidence that an unknown flying craft of some kind crashed nearby. Ned Scott, a reporter in search of a story, tags along. A minor romantic subplot involves Captain Patrick Hendry, Kenneth Tobey, and Carrington's secretary, Nikki Nicholson. On arrival, Dr. Carrington briefs the airmen, and Dr. Redding shows high-speed photos of an object moving downward, up and on a straight line, not the movements of a meteor. Hendry wonders to the doctor, 20,000 tons of steel is an awful lot of metal for an airplane. It is for the sort of airplane we know, Captain, Carrington responds. From Geiger counter readings, Hendry's crew and the scientists fly to the crash site aboard the supply team's ski-equipped C-47. The craft is buried in the ice, with a vertical stabilizer protruding from the surface. They are shocked to discover that the shape of the craft is that of a flying saucer. They try to free it with thermite heat explosives, but in doing so accidentally destroy the craft. Crew Chief Sergeant Bob's Geiger counter locates a body nearby, frozen in the ice. They excavate the tall body, preserving it in a large ice block, and return to the research outpost as a major storm moves in, making communication with Anchorage very difficult. Some scientists want to thaw out the creature immediately, but Hendry orders everyone to wait until he receives orders from Air Force authorities. Feeling uneasy guarding the body, Corporal Barnes covers the ice block with a blanket, not realizing it is an electric blanket, and the creature thaws out, revives and escapes to the outside cold. The creature wards off an attack by 12 sled dogs, and the scientists recover an arm, bitten off by the dogs. As the arm warms up, it ingests the blood from one of the dogs and begins to come back to life. They learn that, while appearing humanoid, the creature is in fact an advanced form of plant life. Dr. Carrington is convinced that the creature can be reasoned with and has much to teach them, but Dr. Chapman, John Dierks, and other colleagues disagree. The Air Force men are just as sure it may be dangerous. Carrington soon realizes that the creature requires blood to reproduce. He later discovers the hidden body of a sled dog, still warm, drained of blood, in the greenhouse. He has volunteers from his own team, Dr. Voorhees, Dr. Olsen, and Dr. Auerbach, stand guard overnight, waiting for the creature's return. Carrington secretly uses blood plasma from the infirmary to incubate and nourish seedlings he has taken from the arm, failing to advise his colleagues or Capt. Hendry of what he has done, or of having found the bodies of Olsen and Auerbach, drained of blood. Dr. Stern, Edward Franz, is almost killed, but escapes to warn the others. Nikki reluctantly updates Hendry when he asks about missing plasma. Hendry confronts Carrington in the greenhouse, where he sees that the creature's planted seed pods have grown at an alarming rate. Dr. Wilson, Everett Glass, advises Carrington that he hasn't slept, but Carrington is unconcerned. The creature returns and the U.S. Air Force crew, after gunfire has no effect, trap it in the greenhouse. The creature escapes and tries to break into another part of the camp. Following a suggestion from Nikki, Hendry and his men set it alight with kerosene, causing it to flee into the night. Nikki notes that the temperature inside the station is dropping quickly, probably due to a cut fuel line. The cold forces the scientists and the airmen to make a final stand in the generator room. They rig a booby trap, hoping to electrocute the thing. As the creature advances on them, Carrington twice tries to save it, once by shutting off the power, and then by trying to reason with the creature directly. It throws him aside, before falling into the trap and being reduced to a smoldering husk. Its seedlings are also destroyed. Scotty files his story of a lifetime by radio to Anchorage, warning his listeners to watch the skies. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Me, it's the thing from 1951. Kate L. It's much different than the thing that I saw down in Antarctica. Me, this version of the thing has a major difference than the one you know. This version of the thing is made of plant material. The one you know is made entirely out of blood and guts. Lincoln, so there are two different versions of it. Me, exactly. But they are still shape-shifting freaks altogether. Kate L. I never want to go through that horrible nightmare again. Me, Kate and Lola fired a massive blast of fire at the monster blood heartless and burned it. It was weakened. Me, I was right. Solar fire does weaken it. Let's blast it with combos. Edzilla, Ed Smash. Animatron Cyber Key Power. The Animatron Cyber Planet Key went into his right upper tentacle arm and it gave him a surprise ability. Perceptor, let's do it. Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into his back and it enhanced his light beam blast. Edzilla and Perceptor, Ultraviolet Flare Burst. Edzilla fired a massive blast of fire from his mouth and Perceptor fired a massive blast of ultraviolet light. The blasts merged and turned into a powerful blast of powerful blue fire and it hit the monster blood heartless and burned it all over. Bombshell, let's get this freak. Cyber Key Power. The Animatron Cyber Planet Key went into his back and it enhanced his Cerebro shells 100-fold. Black Fire, time to burn some blood. Giganteon Cyber Key Power. The Giganteon Cyber Planet Key went into Blackfire's right arm device and it enhanced her powers 100-fold. Bombshell and Blackfire, Ultraviolet Starburst Bomb. Bombshell fired a bunch of Cerebro shells and Blackfire fired a massive blast of energy and the blasts combined and they hit the monster blood heartless and exploded. Evans, let's finish this slimy monstrosity. Solar Plasma Firestorm. Evans fired a massive blast of solar plasma and it hit the monster blood heartless and burned it, weakening it, and Lucy put it in the can. I took it. Me. Now it's time to finish off Sarabeth. Lana was fighting Sarabeth. She punched her in the face and fired a powerful blast of ice lightning, and Sarabeth fired a powerful blast of dark lightning, and the blasts combined and they exploded. Crab. Lana. You make me sick, Sarabeth. You should have stayed dead, you freak. Sarabeth. I'll make your death painful. But then something snapped inside Lana. She thought of all the terrible and horrible things Sarabeth did over the years, as well as all the terrible deeds done by others. Lana was then suddenly enveloped in a massive and blinding white light, and she was in a massive vortex of snow and ice lightning, and we felt her energy levels rising at an astronomical rate, and she was getting more powerful by the second. When the vortex faded, Lana was forever changed. She looked like she was a 25-year-old girl, and she had a bigger red baseball cap, longer blue hair in pigtails, no shirt, and she had bigger dungarees and brown hiking boots. She had blue angel wings, and a snowflake was emblazoned in the middle of her forehead with a snowy owl in the middle of the snowflake. Lana was now a super angel 20,000 snowstorm owl. Lana, you will never torment people's lives again. Lana went at Sarabelle and kicked her in the stomach with devastating force and punched her in the face. Sarabelle was in a lot of pain. Lana, now you will freeze. Frost, fire, lightning, freeze. Lana fired a massive blast of ice lightning and froze Sarabelle in a huge block of ice. Me. Now to destroy you completely, Sarabelle. I punched the ice and shattered it and killed Sarabelle in an instant. Me. Time to make sure you never come back, Sarabelle. I opened up a portal and it led to the surface of the sun, and we threw in the pieces of Sarabelle and all the monster blood into it, and they were both vaporized in an instant. During the battle, Nico caught a Garcomp and a Munchlax. Lola, Lana, you did it. Lana hugged Lola. Lana, thanks sis. Evans, to the viewers, you will face the wrath of Team Loud Phoenix Storm if you ruin our lives. Me, you said it, Evans. You did a great job. Evans, thanks JD. It was so awesome doing a final smash. It was my first one ever. Me, first times for everything. Andy, to William and Maria, can we see your tattoos? Maria, sure. Maria and William showed them to her. Andy, awesome. We later went home. Evans and his family, along with Andy and her family, were placed into our protection. The end. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Another fanfiction complete. The monster blood on the Goosebumps books was the grossest monster ever made by RL Steen, and it was awesome. I wanted to make it more exciting by having it change into monsters from movies from my dad's past. The movie Black Sunday really did scare the living daylights out of my dad back in 1960, and it was horrifying. The monsters I used are as follows. ASA Vita, Black Sunday, 1960. Radioactive Paleosaurus, the giant behemoth, 1959. Giant Tarantula, 1955. Mutated Ants, them, 1954. The Thing from Another World, 1951. All great movies and all awesome movies from the 1950s and 60s. Nico-chan 11 gave me the ideas for this one. Thanks man, as usual. Let me know what you all think. See you all next time. Movies and monsters belong to their owners.